Hi, and welcome back to another edition of Soki's Ultimatum. I'm your host, Soki, and I think we have a very smart person in the crowd tonight. Yes, this person would be Lucky Wolf, and as smart as she has some wonderful points. But Lucky, I do have to say that the idea of giving them kudos, so to speak, mental kudos, mental power, mental better being, will only give them the opinions and what they want. Because they are expecting us to either go emo, retarded, and stupid, and act like typical furs, or they're expecting us to do the opposite, which our parents have told us it worked in the 50s, but it doesn't work now. So here's what I propose. I propose that we just either ignore them, or we make fun of ourselves about it. If someone calls you a furry fag in public, just shrug and go, so? Alright, whatever. What's your point? Just keep on walking. Because if someone does that, they're just looking for attention. Now, if we make fun of ourselves before they can make fun of us, we disarm them when we take away their insults. So with that, I have something here that I wrote a while ago. Actually, this was going to be in the news, probably about the 3rd edition. And I think it's about time that I read it now, especially before Anthrocon. And we all know that there's going to be something awful in Anthrocon with all the wonderfulness that it is. Anthrocon is going to have issues. The problem is that reports are rumored that betards are going to gather outside and protest against the con. Possible fursuit burning might ensue, more at 11. Now, the real thing here is it's probably going to be like 3 or 4, 5, 15-year-olds standing out there with a sign. This also goes back to my point about people that make fun of us on the internet. We just need to ignore them because a majority of the people that I have talked to and that are haters are between the ages of 13 and they don't have their driver's permit. So somewhere in that range. So why do we care? I mean, we're better than them. So once again, yeah, I got something here that I'd like to read. And I'm going to read it at a couple cons that I'm at if some people would like to listen to it live. And I'd have it memorized. So here we go. Friends, we are gathered here today in a call of a new reform. A call of which has long since been denied by our lifestyles, by our ways of thinking, and our actions speak louder than our words. And this needs to stop. Friends, we are gathered here today listening to a person not speak about the problems of our community, but against the crimes committed against it. The crimes of which fall under our basic humanistic rights. The right to freedom of assembly, the right to freedom of speech, expression and thought, the right to have our own thoughts and actions not judged by others, but be guided and judged by ourselves. Friends, I call together a reform of the community, not to be divided, but to be joined as a unified, as a strong group, not on the basis of sexual encounters or false ideologies, but as a unification of a common interest. We need not be afraid about what others say about us, but what we say about ourselves. As people and artists alike, I rally to see coons, wolves, foxes, lemurs, the great macros and the smallest of micros, alike joined together as one against our discrimination. Friends, I declare that we no longer be known for our insolence as a porn-based community, and that we stress that we be known for unity and self-rising, wealth of pride in who we are and what we do. I declare that we no longer base an artist on the content of what they draw, but honor the values that they hold dear and the effort that they put into their work. I declare that our characters not be tossed aside for boredom of their creators, but be held fast to the creator themselves as a part of them, and not be abused as a false facade. I declare that we no longer run from our accusations to the public eye, and that we stand up for who we are, no matter what people say. We will not change. Friends, for far too long we have been declared weirdos, oddballs, gays, fags, queers, animal right denouncers, and above all, furry faggots. For far too long we have been based upon the actions of our predecessors, and not by the actions of ourselves. For far too long we have been slandered, ridiculed, secluded, and tossed aside for more than one aspect of our lives. And I, for one, have had enough of this bullshit. Friends, I call to action everyone in the community, not to act upon in violence, but in self-preservation of the basis of the self-wealth and dignity of each person. It is not up to others to decide what we are or what we do. It is up to us and ourselves and the community to declare who we are and how we speak. It is not up to others to say what we can or can't be involved in, but instead it is up to us to rally for the change among the community and show the world that we are for the greater good and not for the corruption of youth. It is up to us to change the false premonitions that have been glued to our backs for oh so long. Friends, I sit before you here today not as a self-righteous person, but one that has waded through the muck of the community and caused his own share of problems. I ask that we all join together and disband the falsehoods of our community And I ask for all of us not to hate one another or to use the pen to slander amongst ourselves, because that will only make us weaker. I ask for all of you to stop turning your backs on public ridicule and to stand up for yourselves whenever the time comes. I ask that, above all, whatever you do, do it with dignity, but do it with pride. I ask that the community, that we see a change in the following years, so that we will be accepted not for what we do, but for who we are as people. It is then that we will see a change in the world. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening.